Okay, hello, welcome back to the Land Rover Toolbox videos and the 5-cylinder Symphony channel. So today we're having a look at some rollbar linkages and the MOT failure that I found on the vehicle. Right, so these are rollbar linkages which attach your rollbar to the axle. These will give the vehicle stability when steering and cornering. Looking at section 2.4, suspension general, this is the MOT tester's manual for the UK. This is available online and there's a link down below. Basically what you can look at is the reasons for rejection and what the MOT tester will look for. With the suspension linkage that we have, excessive plain ball joint or the dust cover missing or excessively damaged, which is deteriorating to the point where it will let ingress of dirt. Now if you look at here, this is definitely split and it will let dirt and water into the component itself. This is an MOT failure. As you can see here, is split all the way through. Just looking at this one removed from an MOT failure earlier this week, you can see how much ingress of dirt there actually is. This makes the component wear quicker as well. So basically when we're checking our linkages, we want to use a bar to see what sort of movement we have in our ball joints. If it's excessive, and that's down to the MOT tester's discretion, then of course that will fail on a dodgy component. However, this one hasn't got play in the ball joints, it's only got a split boot. Now the other thing to consider of course with the roll bar is these bushes, and you can see the gap, they're just about acceptably passable, remembering that the metal will also wear on an anti-roll bar bush here. Okay, so Enter the Dragon, or this will be Advanced Factors, which are another Land Rover parts supplier, and you'll be surprised actually how much stuff they have in stock. Very reasonably priced as well, and the quality of the parts that have been supplied of them so far are excellent. We're looking for a certain component, which is this. This is, I'm not going to give you the number, but it's a heavy duty front anti-roll bar link, and we've ordered 2 of them. You just need to look at the price to see how cheap they actually are. And the bonus here is they are actually made in Germany by Meili, if that's the right way of saying them. And these heavy duty components carry a 4-year warranty. So if you buy these, make sure you keep the receipt. We had these delivered like this with steel, and I've painted these with a 2K paint. Right, so Advanced Factors have been very generous with us, and they've given us a discount code for an extra 5%, which you can read here is ADVLRF. So go ahead and buy some stuff from them, and they'll know that you've come from this video, which will also help us. Right, so what I'm going to do here is show you how to quickly get around removing these links, because some of these can be a little bit of a pain. So basically the top linkage isn't too bad. I'll clean this with a wire brush first of all, get the threads clean. You can see the amount of rust dust there is. Basically what it is the rust will jam the threads up on a nut as it unwinds. So if you take the rust away and then give it some lubrication. I don't often use WD-40 these days. I'm using oil, engine oil. This is the original, I presume, and what I'm using here is an 18mm socket and a 16mm spanner. This has a positive fitting, whereas the bottom linkage here, it has a Torx bit, T40 and a nut. And if you fail to undo it, first of all, you'll find that you are in trouble. So basically, first of all, I've just cleaned it up a little bit, used a spanner and a Torx bit, and it's got jammed almost at that point, which is not really acceptable. There shouldn't be too much effort to unwind this. You'll see on the screen a few comments of people have suggested how to remove this bottom linkage. Some good suggestions. However, we are on the drive on a Sunday, so I'm using a wire brush to clean the threads out properly, and this will be sufficient enough to get the nut wound right the way to the end. The thread wants to be as clean as this. Okay, so you can see that very clearly. That means it won't jam up when you wind the nut off. You could use all sorts of things and cut it off. But what I have here is just a 3/8 ratchet, and you can see that the Torx center part has not screwed up, so it's winding all the way out, which is sufficient. That shows you that cleaning the threads out has worked and the component is free to be removed. Okay, so I don't need to show you how to put these on. They're quite easy to do. I'll just say that the bottom linkage is slightly different. It doesn't have a Torx bit fitting. It has a 16mm spanner fitting like so. Okay, so you'll be happy with that with a 19mm spanner. Just to show you that this hasn't got Chairman Mao's signature on it, this is actually Melee from Germany, okay, and as I said before, this is a heavy-duty product and has a 4-year warranty on it. So what I suggest you do is take advantage of the 5% discount and go ahead to Advanced Factors and get yourself some Land Rover bits from them. We still have things like leaky shock absorbers, rusty brake hoses, and of course corrosion to deal with before we take this for an MOT.